Hello dear students, welcome back to our news channel. Students, today we have two news articles, and in the first news, uh, we are going to talk about certain initiative, okay? And this initiative, this scientific journey is basically taking place here in India. So, we are going to talk about something that affects every one of us, even if we don't feel it yet. It's aging. ओके, एजिंग के बारे में हम बात करेंगे। तो सब क्या सब लोग एक साथ एज करते हैं? नो, राइट? तो सबकी एज हमारी कंट्री में एक साथ एज बढ़ती है ऐसा तो नहीं है, राइट? सबका बर्थ ईयर डिफरेंट है तो ऑफ कोर्स एज भी डिफरेंट ही बढ़ेगी। So some people, you might have observed this, that some people they actually remain active at 75, while others they may feel tired at 55. 55 में ही बहुत ज्यादा थकान है, इतना एक्टिव नहीं है। Why this happens? Because aging isn't just about candles on your birthday cake. It's about what happens inside your body over time. And guess what? Scientists say that your biological age, that is, how old your body really is, can be different from your chronological age. मतलब, how many years you have lived. Okay? तो biological age क्या है हमारी body की? It can differ. For example, if I am 20 years old, then if my chronological age is 20, then my biological age might be different. It might be, if I'm not an active person, if I'm not doing exercise, I'm munching on junk foods, then my biological age would be 30 plus. Okay? And vice versa. It can happen vice versa as well if I'm an active person. So aging really, it depends on certain factors. Number one is of course genes. Genes, right? Then second is lifestyle. मतलब लाइफस्टाइल का मतलब क्या है? हम किस तरह का खाना खाते हैं, डाइट, स्लीप, हाउ मच स्लीप वी आर टेकिंग, एक्सरसाइज, राइट? एंड एनवायरमेंट, यस, एनवायरमेंट, whether we are living in a pollution free environment or not, stress, access to healthcare. So aging actually depends on these things. Okay, now comes the cool part. Okay, last year scientists at Indian Institute of Science Bangalore launched a special project called Bharat. Okay, Bharat. Bharat stands for biomarkers of healthy aging, resilience, and resilience, adversity, and transition. Okay, so basically, they want to study why and how Indians age the way they do. Okay, and which science मतलब biomarkers. Biomarkers क्या है? Biomarkers है science. Which science can show early health problems, मतलब which biomarkers can show early health problems, and how aging in Indians is different from that in Western countries. Okay, now you may be wondering, isn't health research already being done? Yes, it's done. But here's the twist, most health studies come from Western nations. And that's a problem. Kyun? Say your vitamin D levels are slightly lower than Western standards. So you might be labeled as unhealthy, even if that's normal for Indians. है ना? क्योंकि अब सब अलग अलग हैं, वेस्टर्न कंट्रीज के जो लोग हैं उनका क्लाइमेट, वेदर, सब कुछ फैक्टर अलग है. तो वैसे ही उनकी जीन्स है, इंडियंस के अलग है, राइट? सो अगर हम वो वाले जो स्टडी है उसको इंडियंस पे अप्लाई करेंगे, तो इट माइट नॉट बी वैलिड. And doctors, they may use Western numbers to diagnose the disease. They will use diagnostic tools which are basically designed as per Western countries. And this thing could be wrong. It could go wrong. It could be incomplete for Indian patients. So even tests for things like cholesterol, blood sugar, or inflammation might not work perfectly for us. And this gap can lead to misdiagnosis. It can lead to wrong treatment or missed early warning signs. Okay? So that is why the Bharat study is so important, because it aims to build an India specific health database. India specific jo ho. Okay? And scientists are using AI, they are using machine learning to understand the complex body changes. They are also, trying to identify early signs of aging even before the diseases start. Okay? So imagine this, your body feels tired, but your tests say you are okay. ऐसा भी तो हो सकता है ना? And what if, AI could say, wait, your liver is aging faster than it should. So let's fix this now. That's actually prevention, the best kind of medicine. Okay? एंड ऑफ कोर्स देयर आर सर्टेन चैलेंजेस विद दिस स्टडी, क्योंकि देखो इंडिया का बहुत डाइवर्स कंट्री है, सबका फूड हैबिट्स अलग है. इवन वेस्ट में जो लोग रह रहे हैं उनके फूड हैबिट्स इज डिफरेंट फ्रॉम द पीपल हु आर लिविंग in eastern side, right? So this is the challenge, and there's also a challenge of collecting samples from healthy adults, right? But the goal is clear that uh, that there is a need to help Indians age in a healthier, stronger, and happier way. Okay. Now, students, let's go to the next article of the day. We are going to talk about July 4th, which is celebrated as uh, US Independence Day, right? So, July 4 is celebrated as what? Independence Day in the United States of America. But do you know why? What really happened on this day? So let's just understand, because it is part of world history, right? So in the 1770s, a powerful country called Britain was very powerful that time. है ना? इंडिया में भी तो आ रहे थे, इंडिया में भी रूल किया, तो ब्रिटेन उस टाइम में बहुत ज़्यादा पावरफुल था. So Britain ruled over 13 original colonies in North America, the land that would become today's USA. So the people who lived there called colonists. They were called colonists. They were unhappy. Okay, why? Because British government was making laws and taxing them heavily, like with uh, Sugar Act, Tea Act, Intolerable Acts. They are taxing. British government was basically ruling, है ना? British government rule कर रही थी, तो उन पे बहुत ज़्यादा heavy tax लगा रही थी. And it was all happening without, letting them have any say. So it's like being told to pay for snacks you didn't order and not even being allowed to speak in the class meeting. So it was sort of something like that, है ना? तो ऐसा चल रहा था. अब जो colonists थे, they were tired of this. Okay. So one night in 1773, a brave group called the Sons of Liberty threw chests of British tea into the Boston Harbor. Okay, Boston Harbor. उन्होंने क्या किया, जैसे बॉस्टन हार्बर थे उसमें बहुत बड़े बड़े चेस्ट थे उसके ब्रिटिश टी के, तो वो सारा कुछ डंप कर दिया, उसमें फेंक दिया. So they actually dumped tea into the sea. And this event is now famously called the Boston Tea Party. Okay, but it wasn't just about wasting tea. It was a protest. जैसे इंडिया में गांधी जी ने डांडी मार्च किया था. He collected just a handful of salt and he and it was a representation of that he was breaking a salt law. So it is similar to that, and it was a protest. So they shouted. They also gave this slogan of no taxation without representation. And this started a ripple effect. Soon, all 13 colonies, they united to fight back. They created the Continental Congress. It was like a secret parliament of their own. And they tried peaceful talks with King George III of Britain, but the king refused. Okay? So by April 1775, a full blown war of independence had started. And now, here comes the moment that changed history. Yes. So, on July 2, 1776, Continental Congress voted that the colonies should be free and they should be independent. ओके कि वो फ्री होनी चाहिए जो कॉलोनीज है और इंडिपेंडेंट होना चाहिए right? So one of their leaders, John Adams, uh, said that this day would be celebrated forever. But guess what? The official declaration of independence was adopted 2 days later, that is July 4. Okay, and this document had powerful words like we hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their creator with certain unalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. And these ideas came from a period called the Enlightenment, where people started believing in freedom, equality, and science over kings and empires. पहले क्या था कि empires जो kings थे उनको divine rule मिला था कि वो राज करेंगे लोगों पर, that they are unequal, कि ऐसा माना जाता था कि भाई उनके पास divine rule है, राइट? लेकिन बाद में जब एनलाइटनमेंट आया, फ्रेंच रिवॉल्यूशन भी हुआ, तो आइडियाज किसके स्प्रेड हुए? लिबर्टी के, इक्वालिटी के। ओके, तो यहाँ पे भी जुलाई 4 में जब ये सेलिब्रेशन इसको मनाया जाता है, एंड July 4 बिकेम द बर्थ डेट ऑफ अ न्यू नेशन, दैट इज USA. All right, although the students, the war, it continued for 7 years, for 7 more years until 1783 तक चलता रहा था जो लड़ाई थी, when Britain finally admitted defeat and the American colonies won thanks to help from countries like France, Spain, and Dutch Republic. They helped the American colonists. Okay, so imagine there's a group of colonies standing up to one of the most powerful empires of that time and winning. So today, Americans celebrate July 4 with fireworks, parades, barbecues, and pride, and it reminds them that freedom came after sacrifice, struggle, and unity. Okay, this also pose a question for you, है ना? हमारा भी तो August 15 आने वाला है, पास में है. So what does freedom mean to you today? Take a moment to think. Maybe it's the freedom to learn, to dream, to speak up, right? Because students' independence is not just about flags, it's about having the right to shape your life and society. Okay, that will be all for today, students. Bye bye. Take care.